Hello, I'm Pastor Loren Covarrubias, and I want to talk to you today about my new book, The Descending New Jerusalem. It is a book about the book of the Revelation, and a very important book for you to purchase. I believe with all my heart that one of the things missing in our understanding of the book of the Revelation is most of the interpretations are people who don't even believe in prophetic ministry or the spirit-filled understanding of things. I'd like to say this is a prophet that looks at the book of Revelation because it's very important that we see the prophetic aspects of these things. In the Old Testament, there were two words that spoke about being a prophet. First of all, the word prophet, which meant someone would prophesy or declare something, but also the word seer was used because a seer was somebody who saw. Now, when you read the book of the Revelation, you'll understand that John didn't just prophesy about some things, he saw some things. And this is a very important concept for us to understand. A good explanation would be in the Old Testament, there was a prophet by the name of Elisha. Because he was giving inside information to the king of Israel about what was happening in the camp of Syria, the king of Syria decided he's going to send an army to kill him and get rid of him. Well, as Elijah sees this army coming, he has a servant with him. And he looks and he says, what master are we supposed to do? And the Bible also says that he was afraid. Now, the prophet and seer Elijah said, God opened his eyes so he could see. And all of a sudden his eyes were open and he saw the armies of the Lord of hosts. And all of a sudden everything changed. So oftentimes when we look at things from a natural perspective, we have a natural response. But when we have the capacity to see things from the spiritual perspective, that's when we can truly have a spiritual response. And I truly believe that's what God is looking for in the house of God today, of people who are mature, who have spiritual perception, and are able to walk in the Spirit-filled life and the Spirit-led life. And this is why it's so important to see this. I call it the Descending New Jerusalem because that's the last thing that it talks about in the final chapter, but really it is the consummation of the whole message. God has a people. God has a church. And in John's Revelation, he calls it a city that's descending from heaven, whose foundation was the 12 apostles. Now, you might think that's just about the future, something coming from heaven. But if you translate the Bible by the Bible, because the Bible says out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established, you'll know that in the book of Hebrews chapter 12, the Apostle Paul said, now we haven't now come to a mountain that can be touched, but we've come to Mount Zion, the city of the living God. It is a heavenly Jerusalem. He talks about angels, he talks about God, he talks about Jesus, he talks about the church. That's really what that book is all about. The book of the Revelation reveals the desire of God for his people and for his church. And that's why I would encourage you to get your copy of The Descending New Jerusalem so you could understand and see what's really going on in the world.